welcome to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. It's, of course, your favorite show every Wednesday at 9 o'clock right here on Cape Town TV. Free on terrestrial and, of course, broadcasting national across DSTV channel 263. My guests on the show this evening, if you thought sport or rugby was over, well, big mistake. We're going to tell you all about that, what's happening in the world of club rugby during the course of the show. Of course, there's HBSBC Sevens. That's as well rolling out. A lot of action happening in the world of Sevens as well. But the clubs particularly already started with pre-season training. So a lot of activity. Jerome Parwater joins me again this evening. And Jerome, jy's natuurlijk klaar baie besig met jou boys.
Ja, JP, baie besig. Ek kom elke aand so 9:30 by die huis. Ek dink my vrou is na om my te los, want elke aand is dit maar laat. Maar dis maar deel van die werk, JP, en ja, so... Is daai die rede hoekom sy miskien vir jou gaan los? Daar seker 'n paar ander redes, né? JP, daar kan baie redes wees, maar ek dink dit is maar gelukkig weet my vrou dan waar ek is, en ek kan nie wag vir die vakansie nou nie. Want klub rugby en rugby is nog altyd aan die gang. Dit is al amper Desember. Maar ja, dit is amper tyd vir vakansie, so ons wag maar. Ja, right. Die ander man saam met my vanaand, Danny Jones. Danny, of course, head of amateur rugby at Western Province. Hello, Danny, gaan met jou?
Good evening, JP. Nee, dit gaan goed met my.
How's your married life going? Are you okay?
It's good, JP, but don't go there. You know, as Jerome says, our times belong to the union, and our families, thank you, we're grateful for them for our understanding, but we don't want to open something that could...
A can of worms. We don't want to open that can of worms.
Could come back to wound us.
Well, at least they know where you are tonight.
Definitely,
definitely. But of course, it's a lot of work. I mean, every night is out of a different sport, and I think if you're in the sports space, you're a coach specifically, you're working during the day, and then at the end of the day, you're still going directly to your you go directly to your club, you carry on there, and you get home at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and that happens 2, 3, 4 times a week, and then on Saturday you've got rugby as well, so there's a lot of time away from the home, and if you haven't got a family structure supporting you, which is actually for the better of the players, the community, there's a lot of sacrifice and commitment there from the coaches and the administrators. If you haven't got a good family structure behind you, you could be in trouble.
No, definitely, and let me use this opportunity officially on behalf of Western Province Rugby Football Union to thank all spouses of our players and administrators and managers and coaches for their patience and indulgence with regard to allowing us to be away from home in the evenings.
And a message to the future to-be spouses. Get yourself ready, all right? Decide now, all right? If you want to engage with this spouse, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like that forever. So, don't get married if you're planning like this is going to be bad for you. Get used to it now, because we don't want you to jump into an arrangement here for the next 40 years, and then after the marriage and the honeymoon that you now say, nee meneer, jy moet by die huis wees. No, we don't want that, okay? So understand, you're going to get married now to a rugby person, and that's how it works. Okay, so please, don't change, all right? Get ready, sign the contract. In fact, if you're going to change the marriage contract altogether, get an addendum, write a few little pages at the bottom of the marriage contract and say, we're letting you know in advance that settle it now. Get it settled, folks. I'm a rugby guy. Part of my life is rugby. That way, you've got that document. You can always have it back to refer to. Is that maybe a good idea, Jerome?
No, exactly, JP. My mother used to tell all my brothers' girlfriends, listen, you've got my son as a rugby player. We're a rugby family. It's not going to change. It's going to be like that. So luckily for me, I married a woman whose father was in rugby his whole life, and she grew up with that. And as you say, is to marry the right woman who understands that. That's important.
Yeah.
JP, and also I want to, tell all our wives, all of us, we have one mistress, rugby.
Yeah.
Nothing else. They don't have to worry.
Okay, what you can expect though, is this you can take for granted. We are going to put on a few extra kilos. We're going to get a few more grey hairs. Okay, that comes with the territory. Okay. All right. Anyway, it works. All right. So, Danny, let's just go back to you. Of course, you had your AGM for Western Province Rugby on Monday at the Union. All the clubs were there, and it's surprising to see how many of them said that the clubs already started pre-season training. In fact, it's unbelievable how many guys are in the gym already. They're and on the field, pre-season ready. very nice little annual report here that you guys put out, talking about women's rugby and the School of Excellence and the Rugby Development Program. So much work. Under 18 academies, the Craven Week side, the boys 7 side that travel to Johannesburg. I mean, I'm just scanning through some of these results here. There's youth rugby, there's amateur high performance rugby, there's all the affiliated clubs and club rugby. And I must say, your president, Mr. Wakefield, gave a very nice talk there on the day. There's the Referee Society, and he went through in detail everybody that's involved with Western Province Rugby. A good year for Western Province Rugby so far.
No doubt, JP. We're quite grateful and blessed with the great year we had. You know, we won all but the Craven Week under 18 in the junior level. That's from under 12 right through to under 18. We've been in all finals from the under 19s up to the Currie Cup. Just unfortunate the under 21s didn't pull it through, but they topped the log. So rugby in Western Province is healthy, and a lot has to do with the investment that the clubs make, you know, in their communities.
Yeah.
Because many of the players come from our clubs, and especially both schools and junior clubs. So the success of this year has a lot to do with the rugby that's been played in our communities.
So one of the things behind the scenes, of course, all the administration. You've got a lot of guys there behind the reception area. You've got guys that are capturing data, managing fixtures and scores and results for the schools, for the referees. You've got a phone referees, a lot of administration. Now, I believe that on Monday you went out. In fact, folks, we'll show you a little snapshot of the team building or team training that took place at the Institute. But you went out on Monday to focus on some administrative matters.
Yes, JP. You know, part of our 2020 vision is to be a high-performance organization, an HPO. And as you know, as in the corporate world, you need to reflect on your practices and highlight the best practices and then use that in the preceding year that you need to go into. So all we're saying is that we don't want to rest on our laurels. We want to create and improve a service to our clients, and in this case, our clubs and schools. And so we reflected on the year, and we looked at how can we improve upon the service delivery that we're giving to our clients.
Which, of course, that's what they are. They're your customers, the clubs. All right, so folks, a little behind-the-scenes snapshot then. We managed to catch up with Faisal Felton, the head of club rugby at the West Province Rugby Football Union, as he just told us a little bit about what they were planning and working on in that administration workshop. Let's quickly see what Faisal has to say.
We've come out to Stellenbosch, the HPC here in Stellenbosch, our amateur department, and we're going to relook the year that's passed, and then obviously going forward in terms of how we can improve and how we can, you know, work on problems and issues that we might have had, challenges and that. It's going very well. I think for me it's an eye-opener. It's good to see what worked and what didn't work, and where you know, from club rugby side, where we can improve on, or what we can improve on. You know, the president's report in terms of what you know, has happened during the year, and that has been great. I mean, if you look at the highlights of the season and what we've achieved, ultimately I think at the end of the day, you know, for us, it's about you know, taking the Union of Western Province to another level. And yeah, we've got the amateur department. Basically, it's the referees department, the schools department, the club rugby department, and referees, schools, clubs, and obviously the coaching department. Basically, it's all the departments, you know, creating synergy amongst the 4 departments. We're all working together. Without referees, there's no clubs. Without schools, there is no clubs. So it's basically trying to see how we all fit in and how we can work, you know, a lot more efficiently and more effectively. Yeah, I think Scrummagers will see us. Scrummagers is something that I think, you know, from our side, you know, getting out to all the games on a Saturday is quite difficult. So hopefully through Scrummage we're able to assist and help the clubs manage themselves better, but at the same time trying to see how we can improve and how we can assist and help the clubs, you know, using technology and that.
Mr. Jones, so you guys were out there on Monday, at least on Tuesday, at the Western Province Rugby Institute. Fantastic facility, I must say. And I was looking at those sevens guys in great shape, but a great facility.
It's really a beautiful facility, JP. Both the South African sevens, girls and men, they were there. I know the facility is a world-class facility because the British athletic squad will be there during January. So it is a beautiful facility, and we have a very good relationship with the Stellenbosch Academy of Sport, where obviously we host our under-19 team for the year. And so yes, it was a beautiful day, JP. I think it was 28, 29 degrees in Stellenbosch. Great setting, and you know Stellenbosch is a beautiful town, and there were some good ideas that came out of the workshop.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. That's what we want to hear, is all that training, staff training. I mean, essentially that's what most corporates do, is they take their staff, they teach them, they upskill them and so on. So it's good to know actually that from a club rugby perspective, an amateur sport perspective, that you're working on service delivery, because I think a lot of people don't know what you do behind the scenes. So it's good to hear that. It's good to know that there's constant training behind the scenes, that things aren't going to be the same way they were 5 years ago, they're not going to be the same way they were 10 years ago, and that things won't be the same next year that they were this year, and they won't be the same in 5 years' time that they're going to be next year. So it's a constant training and upskilling.
Yes, certainly. As you know, life is dynamic, and it changes, and there, I mean, better methods come up each year. So we're looking at all those things to improve the service delivery. And also, as you know, JP, it's important to reflect. You know, reflection is an important component. And although we're busy with amateur rugby, and amateur rugby is not about the fact that you're an amateur. The fact that you're an amateur is because you love the game, and you're not rewarded financially with regard to the game. But as far as we are concerned, the fact that we're in the amateur component doesn't imply that we can't be professional in our approach to servicing, you know, our clubs, schools.
I mean, we know that the Western Province Rugby Football Union is a very big organisation. I mean, you're the size of a big corporate. But there's no real difference fundamentally between what you do and some small other sports federation. You're there to serve the community, serve the clubs, and administer. You're just a much bigger, more organised structure than the small. But the philosophy is still the same.
Definitely. Look, our focus is to provide a hobby, recreation, enjoyment, and fun. And that's our focus.
And of course, it's the Western Province Sports Council Awards on Friday. So if we just go back a few years, the Western Province Rugby Football Union, which I think a lot of people don't know, has been the winner of the Federation of the Year prize for a number of years now.
Yes, JP, we've been blessed with that award, and I need to thank the Western Province Sports Council for acknowledging the role that Western Province Rugby Football Union plays as a federation. And it doesn't come easily, JP. There's a lot of hard work that goes into running the federation, and it's nice to be rewarded.
Absolutely. So talking about rewards, right, folks, if you want to win for yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher to the Vasco Tavern, just SMS Vasco, the word Vasco, to 33280. A 250 Rand dinner voucher at the Vasco Tavern, SMS Vasco to 33280. You can get yourself a like a Portuguese roll there, prego steak roll or something like that at the Vasco Tavern there it's there just close to the Greenpoint traffic department. Portuguese Vasco Tavern. Get out there, check it out. It's fantastic. They are supporting Cape Rugby TV. So jump in on that SMS competition. The word is Vasco. Just SMS that to 33280 and you can win for yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher for dinner for, well, you can take 2 or 3, but $250 and a bottle of wine. So go out, get your cell phones handy now and jump in and you can find yourself being rewarded with a lekker dinner at the Vasco Tavern. That's, of course, in town. We're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we'll catch up with the guys that are in the club space heading towards the Vodacom squad. We'll be back with you in a sec. Matt Finn, Money Matters, also a proud supporter of Cape Rugby TV. You want to sort out your finances, look for mattfin.co.za. They've got an excellent way to help you get through your debt. If you need to find a way to solve your debt problems, then mattfin.co.za is the company that can help you with that. They find ways to use your home loan and your bond and help you get out of debt. Very important, folks. Go to mattfin.co.za and jump in there. Of course, Jerome, it's the club guys are in action already. They're getting ready for, is it the Vodacom Cup?
Yeah, JP, we've got a program called Club to Vodacom. So the guys are busy preparing to see if they can make it out of club rugby to play in the Vodacom Cup competition. In the past, we were fortunate. 2 years ago, we had 13 guys out of that program playing Vodacom Cup. This year, we had 9 guys playing in the Vodacom Cup, and we had a few guys also playing under 21 out of this program. So it's a good program that we follow immediately after when they finish with club rugby, and we stop next Wednesday. So it's a 6 weeks program that we follow. And
the guys hit in the gym hard. Are they working out?
Yeah, they really work hard. And as we said, like Mr. Jones was saying, it's amateur guys, but we treat them as professionals. And we're fortunate to have 2 great conditioning coaches in Rafid and Nasif, which work close to Stefan, the head of conditioning with the Stormers. So yeah, it's going well.
All right then, folks, we managed to catch up there with the guys from the various clubs as they are starting to prepare and see if they can make it into the Vodacom Cup squad. Let's check out the gym training session. Well, it certainly looks like there's a lot of hardcore training action there. Jeremy Onslaan gym am hard, né?
Yeah, JP, and it's amazing. As I said, when they stop now, it's 6 weeks, and some of the guys they came in for the first time, and if you look where they are now, and it's all about conditioning. I mean, everybody can play rugby, but it is we've seen it's about conditioning, and it's about supplements and doing the right things. So I'm excited to see where these guys are going. I'm already excited to see where they are in terms of their conditioning program now.
Yeah.
So it's going great, and the guys love it. And I must say, the guys are very consistent. We've got 28 guys every Monday and every Wednesday. They're the same guys. Last week, a guy's uncle passed away, and he had to go to PE, and he said he's rather gonna go on the Thursday. He's not gonna go on the Wednesday because you don't want to miss the session, and it's really hard work. I mean, the guys are working hard, but they don't want to miss the session, and I think we've got the right guys there at the moment, and they are competitive. They help each other, and they work very hard.
All right, then talking about training very hard, we also managed to catch up with the guys in a strongman training session. Let's see, this is now, of course, folks, the alternative additional method of training when you're not hitting the gym and just pushing traditional weights. You also got to do a little bit of other body dynamics because, you know, once you hit the field, you're getting forces in different ways that maybe a weight would be. So you've got to be lifting and pushing and shoving and pulling and all sorts of things like that. And that's where strongman sessions now come into the world of rugby. So let's catch up now with the guys at the strongman session as we check out the Club to Vodacom squad. All right, so a couple of frisk guys there, Jerome. I was like, I'm sterk.
Yeah, JP. One thing that I want to give to the club, or just a message from this strong men, that club coaches always complain they don't have equipment, they don't have a gym. But surely you can get a tire, you can get a sledgehammer, you can get a big ball, which costs nothing, and you can get we call it farmer's walk,
Yeah,
thing
$2
to carry.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of things. There's just an example.
I mean, you
to
come
show
with no
them.
dunk net. I don't know if you, because you're maybe a little bit upmarket than me, but when I was a kid, like I used to take a broomstick and some bakstene met bietjie insulation tape om die bakstene om daai te oefen. En baie keer as jy nou ekstra geld gehad het, dan kon jy concrete mix in 'n pot en dan druk jy jou pala binne en
Ja, definitief JP. Daar's 'n klomp goed om vir jou sterk te maak en soos ek sê, dis 'n bewys wat hulle kan doen en ek bedoel tyres te kry, dis niks. Maar die manne werk regtig hard. Ek bedoel hulle doen nie net die strongman nie, hulle hardloop tussenin en dan doen hulle strongman, dan hardloop hulle en dan doen hulle strongman en hulle bou dit op en goed. En nie een van die manne gee op nie. En as 'n man opgee, dan help die ander manne.
Maar jy kan ook nie sterk en goed. Daai sal jou net afbreek as jy nie ordentlik eet nie.
Ja, definitief JP. En wat ons ook gedoen het, ons het die manne supplements gegee van hulle werk en van hulle studeer.
Ja.
So deur die dag kan hulle supplements gebruik en dan gee ons hulle ook recovery drinks terwyl hulle daar oefen en na die tyd. En dit maak 'n groot verskil.
Yeah, there's Bakgat, and to tell us more about that, we spoke to Nazir Parker, one of the conditioning coaches at the Club to Vodacom squad. Let's see what Nazir has to say about training and nutrition.
What we try to do today, because we get these guys, for about 2 sessions a week, we try to fit in as much as we can. So today we did an upper body session in the gym, which lasted about 45 minutes. It consisted of chest and shoulders, and we finished off with a functional training session this evening with a bit of running conditioning as well. The guys that are here this evening is mostly the club guys from obviously the Super League A, Super League B and C. What we're trying to start is obviously a Club to Vodacom sort of program. And what we decided is obviously get a pre-season starting off-season, so the guys are ready obviously to play in February. Well, it's been well attended. Obviously, the guys are committed, and the sessions has been tough. And obviously, because we get them only twice a week, we're trying to put as much in as possible. So regarding the progress, I think we're doing really well. The guys are mentally tough at the moment, so yeah, that's basically what I can say regarding their training. We obviously take into consideration that some of them don't have gym contracts, so we start them from the bottom and we go base level of fitness. Like for example, there's a few guys here that hasn't gymmed before, so we start them with bodyweight exercises and then we work them from there. Obviously the go-to thing would be protein. We have issued the players with recovery drinks from Evox. We gave them 100% whey and BCA from Evox, and that has been working well for the union as well because our senior team uses it. So we just thought we would obviously give it to the club guys and see how it works for them, but it has been working. So I recommend a combination of BCAAs and a 100% whey protein from Evox.
We say thank you to you guys obviously for hosting the training and well done.
Thanks, man.
A lot of action there. Rifat Jappi, one of your fitness nutrition coaches, Jerome, he's probably had a lot of close contact with Stefan de Tooy and Greg Hechter and those guys, working with them as well.
Yeah, as I said, JP, we're fortunate to have two young guys like this. Lots of energy, and they've learned a lot from Stefan, and they do exactly the same what the
So that was, of
guys.
course, Nazir Parker.
Nazir
Parker, not Rifat. We'll come to Rafid. We'll come to Rifat. Is it Rifat or Rafid?
Rifat.
We'll come to Rafid. Rifat.
Rifat.
We'll come to Rifat in a while. Anyway, you said, yeah, a lot of you must have had a lot of exposure there with Stormers and Alistair and the guys as well.
Yeah, definitely, JP. And I mean, they qualified biokineticus, and we're fortunate as province to have guys like this in the system.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think they're just going to grow themselves also.
All right. So as I then said, Rifat Jappi, also they're working on the Club to Vodacom squad. Let's catch up with them now.
The training session went well today. We're in our 3rd week now at the moment. We're going into our 4th week. We've been progressing it slowly for the guys because a lot of the guys are club guys that only started gymming, and there's a few guys that have been gymming for years now. But we're just trying to correct the technique and help them better the technique and get them stronger in the gym. So we've been progressing it week by week, and the guys are improving well. Okay, a weekly program will be like on the Monday, because we only have 2 days with them. For Monday we'll do one upper body, and we'll do some running outside. And on the Wednesday we'll do a full body, then we'll do some strongman and other functional training outside. So a basic Monday will be upper body, so say for instance chest. So we'll start off with some warm up, just loosening up the muscles, some crab push-ups normal. And then the training session will consist of like normal bench press, dumbbell bench press, and we keep the reps low because we're increasing the strength and so. Only for the guys that are starting, are doing a lot of reps to pick up some weight, some hypertrophy. So we're taking it slow, we're looking where the guys are at, and then we're just working it from there. Well, in the first week actually we started testing them to see their base level, and it's for this club players it's actually very important, because this is one thing that I think club players lack, and this is the strength and conditioning in gym. There's a lot of club players that have a lot of skill but then lacks the gym work and the field conditioning stuff. So this is very important to help them to get conditioned in the field, to take the knocks if they play higher up and so. Because if they take the step up, they normally have the skill, but they can't cope with the physicality and stuff. So this is very important for these guys, and a lot of these guys aren't used to such training, so they're learning. Yeah.
Rifat talking to us there about what's happening in the world of training at the Club de Vodacom's. Well, I believe as an ex-collegians boy, Jerome.
Yeah, he's still playing for collegians, and you can hear he's a bit, while he was talking, he was a bit out of breath. Because what they do, they basically do everything, every single training they do with the guys.
Yeah.
And some of the times they run in front, the two guys, because they're young, they're full of energy. And that is what we need, so that the guys can see they must get to that level. So it's good to have Rifat also on board. And I mean, he's still playing. He's a player, you know exactly what the player needs.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's coming from collegians.
Well, that's the most important part for me. Hy kom van 'n klub af.
Ja, hy kom van 'n klub af en 'n laer klub, so hy weet presies. So dit maak dit ook baie makliker vir my om met hulle te werk en hulle om vir die speler te verduidelik.
En hy het ook lekker hare.
Hy het lekker lang hare van JP.
All right, folks. One of the restaurants in Cape Town that is supporting us at the moment is the Vasco Tavern. I mentioned earlier on, if you've got your cell phones handy, you can win for yourself a dinner for 250 Rand dinner voucher at the Vasco Tavern. All right, it's 250 Rand dinner voucher at the Vasco Tavern. SMS Vasco to 33280. All right, it's a 250 Rand meal voucher. All right, there you see it. What you need to do is just SMS the word Vasco and you win yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher. After the ad break, we'll take a look also at what's happening in the world of PAL. All right, the guys from PAL Rugby are also training at the not at the HSBC, that's of course the HSBC Sevens, but at the HPC and in Belleville, the High Performance Centre of Western Province Rugby. We're back with you after the break. Yep, it's Cape Rugby TV. Remember that number to SMS is, of course, for Matfin. Matfin Money Matters 31022 to help with your debt planning. Get yourself out of debt there. Matfin, a very, very helpful company. A lot of people, of course, struggling with debt. Didn't know how they got into debt, perhaps signed up too many account forms, went to go buy shopping vouchers, and of course got too many cell phone accounts. The next thing you know, you get yourself into a little bit of trouble. Well, Matfin can help you out. Go and visit the website, www.matfin.co.za, or SMS the word Matfin to 31022. And Matfin can certainly help you out. In fact, we'll get the guys from Matfin on the show at some stage, and they can explain to you a little bit about how that works in terms of sorting out your financial situation. Very important that we support the folks that are supporting Cape Rugby TV, which is, of course, the official and exclusive media broadcast partner to Western Province Amateur Rugby. Okay, so Jerome, the other guys that have been coming out to HPC, and Danny, I think there's a lot of investment in the PAL area now. I know that Sports and Rec are putting the academy there, the Tinus Lanier Academy in the PAL region. So we're seeing a lot more focus in the PAL space.
No, definitely, JP. It's it's a good way of acknowledging the role that Tinus has played, in rugby and also in the Paarl area. And I think that from our side, we also believe that there's a number of good clubs or good rugby players in Paarl that because the clubs decided not to play in the Super League B and C and because of transport costs, etc., that they came to us with a program to ask, can't we look at investing in some of the players, which we have now done. We got a community challenge cup between Western Province and Poland. So we've included the Paarl region as the 5th club from Western Province.
So a lot of focus going there. Of course, not only do they need to be not only going to be playing in those various kind of leagues and competitions there, but they're getting themselves ready now to play some serious rugby. The guys are some serious talent out there. I mean, Jerome, last year the guys beat NNK.
Yeah,
Lower
JP.
Paarl, I think, was it Lower Paarl?
Lower Paarl, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see now. There's a few good guys. There's a few big guys in Paarl, and I mean Paarl is known for bringing through quality players. So I think what Mr. Jones is saying, what they're doing is like we're on the right track, helping Paarl, helping the guys there, and also JP. It's amazing. I mean we've got 28 guys, club to Vodacom. We had Tuesday evening we had 40 guys from Paarl training. So it's almost 70 club guys.
70 ouens, né?
Almost
70
December
club guys,
training.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anywhere in South Africa, any province in South Africa is doing what we were doing. And we were talking earlier on about.
Hang on. Let's go to the video first. Then I'm gonna get you to tell us about it because we need to hear more about the fact that so many club guys are actually coming through the ranks. So let's catch up now with the rugby guys from Paarl as they went to HPC, the High Performance Centre, to go catch up with some serious training.
Welkom hier. Dis die High Performance Centre van die WP. Dis waar die Stormers en die WP span oefen. Op elke dag. Dis waar hulle inkom. Half 8 in die oggend. En dan gaan hulle 4 uur in die middag gaan hulle weg. Die vaart daarso en Nazir gaan julle vat vanaand. Hulle gaan vir julle wys die regte tegniek. Ek weet baie van julle gym, maar hulle gaan vir julle sê die regte tegniek. Hulle help ook by die WP span en by die Stormers. So dis die challenge wat ek dink wat ek wil sien. Hoe lyk julle nou en hoe lyk julle na 6 weke. Maar jy moenie werk in sit. Dis baie swaar gewigte, dis spesifiek net vir rugby. So geniet dit. Okay.
The reason for that is the region guys, the region team is only the first year they're going to play in the SEAL. Something a big achievement for these boys because they're only playing club rugby in the region. It's like a lower league. They don't play in the C section or the B section.
Well, it looks like the guys are starting to get their little introduction to high performance there at the HPC. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the progression of the guys in Paarl and see how they do. Of course, Jacques Haynes is the coach of Young Peoples in Paarl, and Young Peoples also been doing very well in the Paarl region. Let's catch up now with the coach of Young Peoples as he also joined the guys from Paarl at the High Performance Centre. Let's see what he said.
We are from the Paarl region and we are busy to get our guys ready for the community shield. The main purpose is to get our guys ready for especially to get used to the gym environment and get them in the right condition for the tough challenge that guys are at, because many of our guys are not very used to the gym environment, and to get them within the gym to get the right techniques and how to use the equipment in a proper and effective way. Conditioning as such is very important, especially for our guys that is not very big in the setup of today's rugby, and that is why they must get used to the gym environment, to build the muscle, to strengthen themselves and get toned. Because as you can see, many of our guys got some excess of fats, and that is why just to burn that fat and put them into proper muscle. Say more or less 60% of our guys, it is really the first time in a gym environment. The most of the guys usually take some light gym at the rugby field, but they said that is not a proper environment. We want to expose our guys really. We want them within a gym setup so they can get used to work out and really focus to get them into top shape. Because the challenge ahead is a very big challenge. We are not used to that setup within the power region, and we're going to play against Super League A clubs, as I said, and we really need to focus to get our body strength and proper conditioning for the program ahead.
Coach, we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff seeing Paul getting involved there. And, Danny, we were talking about this just quickly. You've got all the administrators behind the scenes there at the union. And I don't think that often the guys realize that they're the ones in your office, because you get so busy with putting in results and logs and fixtures and that. But this stuff is part of they're connected to that as well.
No, definitely. I don't think they necessarily understand or see the value that they add.
The impact.
And the impact they make. But we're quite happy, JP. We Western Province, as you know, we're really grateful about the show and what the show does, because it does expose our clubs to the community or communities, and it's wonderful to see our players who would not have had an opportunity to be in the gyms that are in the gyms now, and also they can see their wives and their girlfriends, and also their family members can see what they put in.
So you're actually making a difference in someone's life. I mean, at the end of the day, you're turning around, you're going to go, I gave an opportunity, even though I was only doing the logs and the results or the fixtures, or maybe I was sending out the letters or notifications of minutes or meetings or whatever. That is all part of the process of helping change someone's life.
Definitely. It certainly adds value to all of them. And so, in a way, we're happy that we can do that. In life is about, at the end of the day, when you stand in front of your maker and the big guy, he's going to ask you, what did you do? How did you add value?
Yeah, so one of these days you're going to sit in front of your maker and you're going to say, well, he's going to ask you, how did you spend your time on this earth? Because Danny, that's one of the things you can't get back is time. Anyway.
No. Time lost is lost forever.
Time lost is lost forever, yeah. So you've got, talking about time, if you want to spend a good time, all right, you've got to get down to the Vasco Tavern. The Vasco Tavern is, of course, now a proud supporter of the Cape Rugby TV show, and I think that they've latched on to the fact that the Cape Rugby TV show is a great way to get TV exposure and get a lot of people into your business or into your restaurant or to buy your product. So welcome to the Vasco Tavern. It's, of course, out there close to the Greenpoint Traffic Department, the Vasco Tavern, old Portuguese tavern. You can see the logo behind me there. That's the Vasco Tavern. SMS the word Vasco to 33280. There you can see it on the screen right now. Vasco to 33280, and you win yourself a 250 Rand dinner voucher at the Vasco Tavern. Congratulations to last week's winner, Gotha Sullivan. Gotha wins for himself, or is it Gotham? Gotham wins for himself a 250 Rand dinner voucher at the Vasco Tavern. All right, just SMS to 33280. All right, then we'll take an ad break, and when we'll come back, we're also going to talk a little bit about the Hubs program again, and we'll take a look at some of the Sevens fixtures as well as the Varsity Cup fixtures that are going to come up next year. A little bit early to talk about Varsity Cup, but we'll give you the fixtures anyway. Back in a sec. Cape Rugby TV it is. It's Wednesday nights. Remember, you can find us on YouTube in case you missed any of these shows. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and on Twitter, @Cape Rugby TV. And don't forget, of course, that the Twitter handle at WP Club Rugby or hashtag WP Club Rugby. We want those trending. So throw in your questions and help us answer your questions here on the show as we bring you the top administrators of the Western Province Rugby Football Union on the show on a weekly basis to help answer your questions about what's happening in the world of rugby in and around Cape Town. Let's quickly catch up now with the guys from the Hubs program. We had them on the show last week, but Karim Rushdin is one of the coordinators there of the Hubs show.
The program, I think it's one of the best things that could happen to schools in the Athlone districts. And I think they have to regard Western Province doing good things to bring back rugby in Athlone region. And all the thing is that when we started this program, it was a little bit of problems with regard. But as the program went on, that the excitement of all the kids, that enthusiastic about the children and the teachers, and the principals that also got involved in the all tag rugby. That's also now partnership with the South African tag at the moment. And Wednesdays, we got that all primary schools have fixtures on City Park. And the excitement there for 8 schools to be there is something to see for what's happening. Actually, that some people think there's no rugby or no sports going on in Athlone. But come to City Park on a Wednesday when all schools participate in the program, you will see the excitement of the children. And the children sometimes don't want to go home because the excitement of a game of tag rugby is so well balanced at the moment. We sent out coaches to all schools to educate them about tag rugby and to get to be excited about what's going on in Athlone districts. I think it's by time now that Athlone district is coming to a light where rugby is concerned. We want to revive rugby at Athlone districts and to go to the primary schools, to go to the high schools. And from the high schools, we actually want to develop the children that's coming from the 19, put them in a good footing where the clubs are concerned to prosper their rugby.
Another one of the positive initiatives we touched base on on last week's show. Danny, Faisal's program going well, the Hubs program, lots of schools now involved in rugby and it's happening during the school time, so nice and positive for the kids being introduced to rugby.
No, JP, we're quite proud of this program. You know, we put 84 coaches or 87 volunteers into schools. They help the schools with the life skills program, and then obviously at the end they would then with a rugby flavor. So the most important thing is, you know, is to let the kids play, enjoy themselves. Yeah. And then obviously as they grow older, we would like them to choose the code of rugby.
So you're from school to club to province?
Yeah.
School to club to province, school to club to federation to province. All right, that's where you want to go. And then you eventually play for your nation, for your country. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic initiative. Some of the fixtures coming up now over the next couple of weeks as well as next year. Let's quickly take a look at the Varsity Cup fixtures. This is the first round fixtures. It starts on Monday, the 9th of February. This is your first round there. It's Pika against NMMU, Shimlas and Tuks, CUT against UJ. And there's home fixture for UCT against Marties, and looks like home ground advantage for UCT. Then the Varsity Shield, it's going to be UWC playing on the 2nd of February, so they start a little bit before the actual Varsity Cup, so that starts on the 2nd of February. UWC take on UKZN at a home ground at UWs, and then TUT are up against Forte in Tshwane. So a lot of action there. And then, of course, the SA7's Academy squad, Harare and Dubai, they were playing in both cities. That starts on the 29th of November, and that's this coming weekend. Carl Dupria, Chris Drive, Vincent Maruping, Josh Moon, Sean Ardendorf, WJ Stradom, Devin Williams, Lungelo Gosas, Andili Koba, Roscoe Speckman, Stephen Hunt, and Devalt Human. And then the full schedule for the HSBC 7s that's coming up now, the World Series for 2014 and 2015. Of course, Australia's Gold Coast tournament's already been played. That happened in October. But this coming December, starting on the 5th in Dubai. Then they'll be returning to Port Elizabeth for the HSBC 7s on the 13th and 14th of December. And then next year it's New Zealand, then of course Las Vegas in the United States, and then Hong Kong, Japan, Scotland and Glasgow, and then wrapping it up in May in England. So So 9 rounds of the HSBC Sevens. And then, of course, many of you will want to know exactly which teams will be playing, or at least who South Africa will be playing at the HSBC Sevens in Port Elizabeth next weekend. Well, they're up against Portugal first, and then Canada, and then Wales. And let me tell you something, folks, if you are going to go to Port Elizabeth, those matches start very early. They start at 7 o'clock in the morning. Of course, it's going to be a lot of action there in Port Elizabeth. And a lot of popularity there now in the world of Sevens rugby. We just have to give our condolences to the friends and family of Joe Morrison, old Western Province Rugby League player. Aubrey Noble contacted us from Blake's out in the Stellenbosch area and told us that one of their former stalwarts of Western Province Rugby sadly passed away. So our condolences go to the friends and family of Joe Morrison, former Western Province Rugby League player. Jerome, still a lot of action for you guys. When does it stop? When do you take your break?
Yeah, JP, those guys they stop next week, and then I stop on the 12th of December. So then I take a little bit of break, then come back again and start in January afresh.
Danny, on the union side, on which day do you guys close your doors?
We close on the 19th of December, and we open our doors on the 5th of January. But JP, you were now giving the squad of the SA Sevens and that. Karel Dupree.
Yeah.
He comes from Jerome's Club to Vodacom program. So we quite, we are making impacts in players' lives, and we are opening up the rugby avenues for them. And then obviously, as we all know, I'm very proud of Mr. Carr. We got to say something about that. Nizam, I tell you something. And watching that game on Saturday, I was on Twitter, and the Nizam Carr fans were on Twitter, and we just kept saying, you got two choices here. Either you put the load shedding on now and you switch this game off, all right, or you bring Nizam on now. Because me in this game, we're not seeing eye to eye now. I mean, I was expecting Italy. We should have been 100 points up already, and we were sitting there at 8-6 or something. I thought, just put Nizam on. At least we've got something to watch. It's our home boys, and of course, Dwayne and Eben were there and that. But the minute Nizam came on, what a spark! Definitely, and the nice thing about Nizam, if you look at his progress in the game. Started off in Mitchell's Plain at West End Primary. Then he went to Sinton, Alexander Sinton in Athlone. Obviously, he played for Primroses Rugby Football Club too, and the school. And then obviously, his talent got him to Bishops. And if you look, and from there he went,
incredible.
History.
That's
history
a true.
is the answer.
This is a true homegrown talent, not Eastern Cape brought into Western Province or anything like that, or Boland goes to the Bulls or whatever. This is a true story.
Yeah,
this is absolutely authentic.
Definitely, and as I said, from Mitchell's Plain and from Mitchell's Plain to the Springbok team, it's a wonderful story.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff, and it's quite incredible. I was on Twitter again, and by the way, folks, you want to follow me on Twitter on @JPNordia. It was quite incredible that the minute they scored the first try. They said, the Twitter world went insane, saying, you can see now the difference that Willie Leroux and Andre Pollard made by coming onto the team. I thought, did you not see that this was actually Nizam that set up the try that put the scrum off? Yeah, Reineke Kobus Reineke, yeah. Reinhard, yeah. I mean, it was. I was actually a little bit disappointed that the credit was given to Willie Leroux and Pollard, whereas it was Nizam that sparked that team, in my opinion. Anyway, maybe we're a little bit biased, but yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more credit there for Nizam on the night. Jerome, thanks for joining us, have a luck rugby weekend. Of course, it's not finished. We'll keep following the training and progression of the guys at the HPC.
Yeah, definitely, JP. We still have one more week, but hopefully we can talk a bit more next week.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get you back on the show next week. And Danny, thanks for joining us. And we'll still a lot of administrative work happening behind the scenes, lots of training and preparation. And we'll look forward to finding about all that.
Definitely, JP. And as taken out of the Tuesday workshop, we got a motto: amateur rugby, club rugby, school rugby, referees. Our passion, our pride.
Your passion or pride, all for the Dizer. This is Cape Rugby TV. Remember, folks, Wednesdays 9 o'clock. Saturday repeats at 9 a.m. on Cape Town Terrestrial as well as on DSTV 263. Tell your friends and family and jump on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.